So, Deutsche Bank is laying off nearly 20,000 workers, and of course, the folks in the streets of London are also, the city of London are part of those being affected. Thousands of them are going out, about 8,000 or so in the UK. Not some particularly good news there in the city as we speak. So, let's get Juliana Layinka from our London studios to speak to this to us, and perhaps what are the markets and the media and everyone is reporting this development in the UK. Juliana, good morning.
Good morning, Bosun. How are you?
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So how is the city taking this major call out of staff by Deutsche Bank?
Well, some are calling this banking fiasco a financial soap opera. After 2 decades, Germany's biggest lender, the embattled Deutsche, has thrown in the towel of trying to become an investment bank and has instead laid out a path to returning to simply being a corporate and consumer lender. Yesterday, we saw the gloomy images of despondent staff leaving their offices in London, and similar scenes were also taking place in New York and Tokyo. Now, the brutal job slashing was only announced a mere 12 hours beforehand, as Deutsche said it had to implement a drastic plan to reduce its global workforce by, as you said, about 18,000, which is about a fifth of its 91,500 global workforce. There are about 8,000 workers here in the capital. Now, the bank expects to save £5.4 billion annually, and they've also sacked staff in Sydney, Hong Kong, and the Asia-Pacific region. So it isn't just London, but of course, London did have the bulk of its staff. Now, there's certainly no love lost between economic observers, the press, and Deutsche. Particularly, I must say, with the American press. The Wall Street Journal have described these cuts as being totally unaccountable, and they've also accused the bank of having questionable business judgments. Now, Deutsche, as you may know, Bosun, has been in trouble for several years. It started in the mid-90s, and Deutsche set about converting itself into an investment bank to rival Wall Street. Now, its traditional focus was commercial banking for the German industry, as Germany lacked a vibrant domestic financial market. So the bank did expand through acquisitions in the UK and the US, and they basically have struggled. The bank shelled out billions in fines and settlements before and after the financial crash in 2008, and they also had to give a $7.2 billion settlement to the US government. I must very quickly say before we move on, Bosun, that the bank have announced that they should be opening a new UK headquarters later this year. So hopefully that will be some good news for the staff who were laid off yesterday.
Quite a lot to unpack in Deutsche Bank story. Juliana, you can spend a whole hour talking about the road ahead for Deutsche Bank, looking at something around billions of dollars in this revitalization, reinvigoration, try to clean up the books, as it were. Well, the world is watching this German lender with footprints around the world. But let's take today's opening calls on your market street. So how is the Tuesday waking up to the Deutsche Bank story and other headline market news that you have for us, Juliana?
Well, of course, Deutsche's shares have dropped drastically, and I expect we'll be seeing more of that later on this week. The FTSE 100 has started off on the back foot this morning, dropping 8 points. Interestingly, online supermarket Ocado struck the right note with investors, even after that £100 million fire at its Andover warehouse. Their shares rose 1.7%. Later today, they're expected to announce details of their £1.5 billion joint venture with the major British multinational retailer Marks & Spencer. It's quite a busy period for UK corporate news today. We're expecting first half trading updates from specialist recruiter Robert Walters, who reported a very solid first quarter back in April. Software specialist Micro Focus analysts are expecting the firm to report sales of around $1.6 billion, which is strong but still down 6%. And photo booth kiosk operator PhotoMe International. Now, investors are expecting profits to fall after bosses announced that they're struggling in Brexit. In currencies, the pound is down 0.1% against the dollar. And of course, we'll be giving you lots more updates with Chimmy later this afternoon, Bosun.
Yes, of course. I'm going to sit around lunchtime and watch you and Chimezie do all of that, bringing us up to speed. Thank you so much, Juliana Olayinka from our London studios, part of our team out of that big European market.
Thank you, Bosun.
So, the rumor is out and it's now been denied. Access Bank says it is not true that the bank is in any mergers and acquisition talks with Union Bank or any of the shareholders. So, that's the notice sent to the stock exchange. But if you remember, during the bank consolidation program 15 years ago, 2004, 2005, Access Bank actually moved on Union Bank. That M&A did not work out. Then around the Diamond Bank, some folks says Union Bank is also going the way with Access Bank. All of that kept coming through. Now Access Bank has denied the latest rumor that it has any mergers or acquisition plan of Union Bank PLC. Let's talk about this. Temple Ashaju will be talking to us after the break. Let's take a break. Everyone will be right back into